G'day viewers, it's Michael here again for SingleRacer. Welcome back. Now I am very excited to just find out through his last video that Mike Smith over at Sim Racing 604 just bought himself an Oculus Rift VR headset as well, and I'm excited to see how he evolves in the world of VR. It's quite astounding how immersive it is, in at least to me, and I'm curious to see where he takes it as well. Now, ironically, the very first car that he was in was an F1 car, because without being insulting to Mike, that's what I associate most with his channel. And although I think the appeal of his channel is he's driven in many racing games, you know, sim racing games and different cars, but I mainly associate that F1 association with Mike. And yet one thing that I don't associate with my own channel is being a good drifter. I've never been a good drifter. I struggle to keep control of the car under a drift, and this is my only so-called dedicated drifting video, and quite frankly I think I do quite poorly in it. But it made me think about what is the essence of my channel. If I boiled it all away, what is my favourite thing, and that is probably, in the simple way to explain it, would be classic cars, but all those GP Legends and GT Legends style cars that have thin tyres, although my favourite car, the Lotus 49, doesn't have thin tyres, but that kind of on the edge, sliding all over the place, struggling for grip, fighting the car, trying to keep it under control. I think that they're the cars that I enjoy most. But it's interesting that even under that circumstance, the technique of drifting I've never been good at. But here is the reason for this video, is because there's this strange thing that I think VR does that tricks your brain into truly believing you feel you are sitting in a genuine, solid 3D version of the car. Last night I sat in the Lotus 49 in the Assetto Corsa version, and I'm not heaping criticism on project cars in any way, because that first video where I tried it, the Lotus 49 in Project Cars 2, was fantastic. But I still think it's that kudos, attention to detail. But for some reason in Assetto Corsa, when I sit in the Lotus 49, I mean, I sat there for, you know, like what seemed like 5 minutes, just taking in the front wheels, just how real they looked, just sitting in the yard before I even drove off. I couldn't comprehend how fantastic it seemed, and that realism that the VR gives you. So what I noticed then, driving out on the track in different cars, especially on the Nordschleife, was suddenly I felt that I could, I wouldn't say drift, but control the car in a drifting way twice as good as I ever could before. And it is this trick that the VR seems to trick your brain in, that as your car gets out of control, because it's a solid object and you feel you're really in a car, you feel, or I feel, that I can recover it twice as easy, and that I know, or it's triggering my brain to know when the car is sliding more, and so I can recover it faster. So I wanted to do this video as kind of proof, using one of those classic cars, which is the Lamborghini Miura, I think it's pronounced, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's Miura, and it's a classic car, considered one of the best cars of its time. So let me show you how suddenly the world of VR and that feeling of truly being in a real car lets me drift better, because of the way that it tricks my brain into feeling like I'm in a real car. And so folks, let's now have a look at this beautiful Lamborghini Miura in the sunshine. Doesn't she look tremendous? She's a classic late 60s, early 70s sports car, apparently the fastest production car at the time of release, and I just think she's beautiful. So we take a look inside there. We've got the classic old cockpit with the with the very basic steering wheel, the almost suede looking material across the dash here. If we now go outside. I know that if I ever lose the plastic number ones on my hair clippers, I can see those two distinctive grills. They look like the number ones, so I've got a replacement for my hair clippers if I ever need a haircut. And if we check out just these truly classic shaped tyres, just tremendous there, very 60s looking, but no slicks, just the typical performance street tyres there. And I must admit, I love that Lamborghini emblem in the middle of the tyre, just absolutely beautiful. Now if we make our way into the cockpit here, we have the old classic centerpiece there, the console, just with the old style dials. I absolutely love this. I wouldn't mind a car even now with this kind of console and dash. I just think it looks absolutely beautiful. And the old 5-speed there. I had plenty of 5-speeds when I was younger, so it hadn't developed yet to the 6-speed manual gearbox. And we've even got a signed plaque there. I assume probably each car had its own plaque giving the number of the actual car made. And if I can just reach for the keyboard there, I've got the wrong one. We go back here and we look at the back of the classic 2 speakers, but I'll tell you what, you'll need them up to 11, because look at that engine sitting right behind your ear hole. I mean, could you imagine how fantastic that noise must be? This was one of the first kind of typical rear-engined 2-seater sports cars, and I just can't wait to take it for a drive. So let me just go back to the cockpit view here as we get ready to take it for a spin, and let's go racing. Okay folks, now today's race isn't about trying to beat the cars in front, it's trying to show how VR has made me a much better drifter just because of its realism. And like, just to be able to turn and spot the cars like this. Come on Porsche, too slow, get out of the road. Just that feeling of suddenly being able to unlock the ability to drift like this. Now I admit this Miura is a fantastic car, even though it's from the 60s. It's so well balanced, so it's in a way helping me so much to be able to do this. But the feeling that I'm in a real car that VR gives me, and for instance like here, I can just slide it out, it's just incredible. Especially when I bring it down to first gear like this, I put on the power there. And the sense of the fact that the car feels real around me is, as I'm getting close to the wall, I feel I got a better sense of when to actually back off on the throttle so that I don't hit the wall there like that. And then when I need to, I can just change it back down here. Oh, like that. That wasn't too good, but here we go. Oh man, this is so much fun. Just the feeling that I can come into the corner so much quicker. throttle control, man, oh man. Talk about opening up a new thing of feathering the throttle. I've got the pass, mate. I've got the pass. You're going to stay in the back of me. Come on, Ferrari. Let's see what you got. This is just awesome. So we're lap 3 of 5. Just gonna stick that tail end of the car out and drift away. Oh, that Porsche's trying to overtake me again. Alright, let's get a bit more serious here. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, it's just so awesome. We've got a Ferrari in front, a Porsche behind, and a little, oh, can he get the pass? Yes, he can. Oh, don't hit the Shelby, Mick, come on. You got better car appreciation than that, leave the Shelby alone. Oh, I put a mark on it too, I think, sorry about that. Let's drift away. Oh man, lap 4 or 5. I got the Ferrari breathing on my tail. This is just so damn exciting. Let's go for the big drift. Yes, oh look at that power. Oh man, this is so much fun. There's a small part of me that doesn't want to pass the Shelby Cobra just because of my appreciation of that car, but if I see a gap I'm going to take it. Don't need it, Mick. Oh, drift away, come on. There's some mud on your tail. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's see if I can overtake him here. Come in. No, Mick, too big a slide and he just hits the wall. Yes, this is a better one. See, and that's what I mean about VR. I'd never get that back if I was just driving through a monitor. It just wouldn't give me the sense of what's going on. Just incredible. Catch that Cobra. Oh, the end of the... I didn't even realise 5 laps was over. Oh man, that was so exciting. So I hope you got to see, just for those of you that don't have VR, it just sits you right in the centre of a real car, and I can't explain it, and Mike Smith over at SimRacing 604 has just discovered it for himself. So next up will probably be a VR channel challenge for Mike Smith and anyone else that wants to join in. So as we finish this race, I'll say goodbye, and as we wait for the last few cars to finish, let's see how we do. Normally we get, I think this could be the last car coming past here. Yep. No, here comes a couple more. And there we go. So fifth isn't too bad, especially considering that I was just trying to show off my newfound drifting skills, and what an awesome race that was. So I'm looking forward to the next one immensely. Alright folks, that'll be it for now. Michael signing off, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, see ya.